in artificial ways. Those adaptations become the sources of illness later on. There was a very interesting article in a journal, Pediatrics, which is the official journal of the American Academy of Pediatrics, published in January 2012. There was an article on childhood development generated by the Harvard Center on the Developing Child. So as prestigious as you get. And the inner abstract, they say that human environments that because of scarcity or stress trouble young children, cause these children to make adaptations which are psychological and physiological adjustments that are necessary for immediate survival and adaptation, but which may come at a long-term cost to health, behavior, and longevity. In other words, the way that young children adapt to stress early on helps them survive that early stress, but in the long term, those same adaptations become sources of pathology. So if you look at my own tuning out, so the tuning out that I did as an infant under conditions of severe psychological strain is an adaptation. It helped me as an infant survive a year where the situation was utterly impossible. But that same tuning out gets programmed into my brain, and now I'm diagnosed with a medical condition, ADHD, decades later. So what was adaptive in one circumstance becomes maladaptive later on. I'm suggesting that much of illness begins with that these are necessary personal adaptations, however, which then stress us later on. And so that there's a real, so what's common to my work is that I look at the sources of adult function or dysfunction in our formative experiences. And, you know, that's not controversial if you look at a gardener. I mean, if a gardener looks at their plants, they know that how they treat that young plant will have a huge impact on the adult plant. Anybody who is in animal husbandry will realize that how you treat the young, whether it's a dog or a horse, will have a huge impact on the personality and behavior of that animal later on. Why don't we get the same thing in human beings? It's the same principle. So it's essentially very simple.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it? When you break it down to the like that, it's super simple. We need a society that really supports children and babies and mothers and parents at a young age.
Absolutely.
And then I guess what comes to my mind is, and you may know the stats on this, I don't, but we here in the UK, we always are talking about Scandinavia, and we talk about how they are really
things like that, man.
Prioritizing those early years. You know, they give a lot of paternity leave, a lot of paternity leave.
Family issues and shit.
You know, yes, they may have high taxes, but it seems to me that the society there has prioritized family and bringing up children. Whereas I don't think we're quite as good here, but I don't think we're as bad as the US. Well, a really good friend of mine, he married an American girl, and she, I remember, maybe after she gave birth to her first child,
Gabor Mate.
she might have been back at work.
Gotta do your studies.
Been something like 4 weeks or something. Something obscene. Like to me, it sounds obscene to me.
I'm slacking right
Charles
now
Daycare.
from having been to the gym
And
chilling.
I wonder,
You know what it is.
what if you could talk about that a little bit, how society is set up now, and then what